What if I told you that the number of candles on your birthday cake has absolutely nothing to do with how old your soul actually is? What if that feeling you've always had, that you're either older or younger than your years suggest, is actually one of the most accurate perceptions you've ever had about yourself? Edgar Cayce, the legendary sleeping prophet whose psychic revelations changed thousands of lives, didn't just see into people's past lives and future destinies. He discovered something that will revolutionize how you understand yourself. Your soul has an age that's completely independent of your physical body, and knowing whether you're an old soul or a young soul is the key to understanding your deepest purpose, your greatest challenges, and your most authentic path through life. But here's what will astound you. Most people are living completely wrong for their soul age. Old souls are forcing themselves into young soul experiences, wondering why success feels empty. Young souls are pressuring themselves to be wise beyond their years, wondering why they feel so restless and unfulfilled. And the tragic part? Neither realizes that their struggles aren't personal failures. They're simply mismatched expectations based on not knowing who they truly are at the soul level. Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit the expectations that come with your chronological age? Like you're either too wise for your years or too eager for experiences that others your age have outgrown? That feeling isn't confusion, it's recognition. Your soul is trying to tell you something crucial about your real identity. Stay with me, because what Edgar Cayce revealed about soul age will either finally explain why you've always felt different, or awaken you to recognize patterns in yourself that you never understood before. If you're already sensing something stirring as you hear this, that recognition that maybe you've been living according to the wrong instruction manual, drop a comment and let me know. Are you beginning to suspect you might be an old soul in a young body, or a young soul who's been trying to act older than you are? And if you're ready to discover the truth about your soul's real age and purpose, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exploring mysteries that illuminate the deepest aspects of who you really are. Now, let me take you on a journey to discover the truth about your soul's age and what it means for how you should be living your life. The Great Masquerade. It all begins with understanding what Edgar Cayce called the Great Masquerade, the cosmic comedy where souls of vastly different ages find themselves sharing the same physical world, often completely misunderstanding themselves and each other. Picture this. In any room of people the same chronological age, you might find souls who are experiencing their very first incarnation on Earth, sitting next to souls who have lived hundreds of lifetimes. The 25-year-old next to you might be a brand new soul, bright and eager and ready to experience everything physical existence has to offer. The other 25-year-old across the room might be an ancient soul who has been human so many times that they're quietly searching for their final lessons before graduating from the School of Earth altogether. But here's the kicker. Nobody talks about this. Society pretends that everyone born in the same decade should want the same things, face the same challenges, follow the same timeline of development. We act as if soul age doesn't exist. Cayce discovered that this fundamental misunderstanding creates most of the confusion and suffering in human relationships. Old souls wonder why their peers seem so materialistic and superficial. Young souls wonder why some people their age seem so serious and withdrawn from life's pleasures. The truth is, you're not all the same species, spiritually speaking. Your soul's at completely different stages of a cosmic curriculum that spans multiple lifetimes, multiple centuries, multiple ways of understanding what it means to be human. And the first step to understanding your own soul age is recognizing the fundamental difference between how young souls and old souls approach the human experience. Young souls come to Earth with tremendous enthusiasm for physical existence. They want to try everything, achieve everything, experience everything that human life has to offer. They're here to master the material world, to build empires, accumulate wealth, gain power, create impressive achievements that leave their mark on history. There's nothing wrong with this. Young souls are supposed to be ambitious, competitive, focused on external success. They're supposed to care about status, possessions, and recognition. That's their curriculum. They're learning how to function effectively in physical reality. Old souls, on the other hand, have already mastered the material world in previous lifetimes. They've been the successful business person, the powerful ruler, the celebrated artist, the wealthy merchant. They've tried every form of external achievement and discovered that none of it provides lasting satisfaction. So old souls come into their current lifetime with different priorities. They're more interested in meaning than money, in wisdom than winning, in service than success. They often seem unimpressed by achievements that younger souls find thrilling. But here's where the masquerade becomes tragic. Society is primarily designed by and for young souls. The messages you receive about what constitutes a successful life, what goals you should pursue, what timeline you should follow, most of this comes from young soul perspectives. If you're an old soul trying to live according to young soul expectations, you'll feel like a failure even when you're successful. If you're a young soul trying to live according to old soul wisdom before you've had your fill of worldly experience, you'll feel restless and unfulfilled. The key is discovering which type of soul you are, so you can finally live according to your authentic nature instead of fighting against it. And the discovery process begins with understanding the telltale signs that reveal your soul's true age. The young soul's fire. Let's start by exploring the unmistakable characteristics of young souls, because recognizing these traits, either in yourself or in their absence, will immediately begin clarifying your spiritual identity. Young souls approach life with an intensity that's impossible to fake. They wake up excited about possibilities, hungry for experiences, ready to conquer whatever challenges the day brings. If you're a young soul, you probably have more energy than you know what to do with, more dreams than time to achieve them, more enthusiasm than the people around you seem to understand. Young souls are natural competitors, not in a mean-spirited way, but in a way that drives them to excel, to be the best, to stand out from the crowd. If you're a young soul, you probably keep score in ways that others find amusing or exhausting. You want to win at everything: games, careers, relationships, even casual conversations. This competitive drive serves a crucial purpose. Young souls are here to develop confidence, capability, and mastery over physical existence. They need to prove to themselves that they can succeed in material reality before they'll be ready to explore more subtle spiritual dimensions. Young souls are also incredibly goal-oriented. They make lists, create 5-year plans, visualize specific outcomes they want to achieve. They believe, and they're right for their stage of development, that clear intentions and focused effort can create any reality they desire. If you're a young soul, you probably get frustrated with people who seem aimless or content with good enough. You don't understand why everyone isn't striving to improve, achieve, and accomplish more than they did yesterday. Young souls tend to be optimistic about human nature and human potential. They believe problems can be solved, situations can be improved, and the world can be made better through effort and innovation. This optimism fuels their ambition and keeps them engaged with material reality. But young souls also have characteristic challenges. They often struggle with patience, especially when dealing with people who don't share their drive for achievement. They can become frustrated with spiritual concepts that don't lead to concrete results. They sometimes judge others harshly for what they see as laziness or lack of ambition. Young souls frequently experience what Cayce called the hunger that can't be satisfied. No matter how much they achieve, there's always something more they want to accomplish. This hunger is actually healthy. It's what motivates them to fully explore the possibilities of physical existence. If you're recognizing yourself in this description, if you feel that fire for achievement and experience burning in your chest, you might be a young soul. And if you are, the most important thing to understand is that your ambition isn't selfish or shallow. It's exactly what your soul needs to learn mastery over material reality. But if this description feels foreign to you, if the idea of competing and achieving and accumulating success feels exhausting rather than exciting, you might be discovering that you're an old soul who has been trying to live according to young soul expectations. And that brings us to the completely different world of old soul characteristics. The old soul's wisdom. Old souls approach life with a quality that young souls often find puzzling. They seem to already know things without having learned them. They carry themselves with a quiet dignity that has nothing to do with their chronological age or external achievements. If you're an old soul, you probably remember feeling different from your peers from a very early age. While other children were excited about games and competitions, you might have been more interested in deep conversations, meaningful books, or simply sitting quietly and observing the world around you. Old souls have what Cayce called the long view. They naturally think in terms of decades and lifetimes rather than months and years. They're less concerned with immediate gratification and more interested in decisions that serve their long-term spiritual development. This long view often makes old souls appear lazy or unmotivated to younger souls. But the truth is, old souls have a different relationship with time. They've learned from previous lifetimes that rushing rarely leads to better outcomes, that forcing situations often creates more problems than it solves. Old souls are naturally drawn to meaning over money, to wisdom over wealth, to relationships over achievements. If you're an old soul, you probably care more about having a few deep friendships than a large social network. You'd rather have meaningful work that pays modestly than lucrative work that feels empty. Old souls often struggle with what they perceive as the superficiality of modern life. They have little patience for small talk, social media drama, or consumer culture. They're looking for authentic connection, genuine purpose, and real spiritual growth. But this can create challenges in a world that's primarily designed around young soul values. Old souls might feel like outsiders in work environments that prioritize competition and external achievement. They might struggle in social situations that revolve around status, possessions, or entertainment rather than meaningful conversation. Old souls frequently experience what Cayce called spiritual homesickness, a longing for something they can't quite identify, a sense that their true home is somewhere else entirely. This isn't depression. It's their soul remembering higher dimensions of existence from between lifetimes. If you're an old soul, you probably have unusual wisdom about human nature. You can see through pretense quickly, understand people's motivations intuitively, and offer guidance that seems far beyond your chronological years. This wisdom comes from having observed human behavior across multiple lifetimes. Old souls are also typically more comfortable with solitude than young souls. They don't see being alone as loneliness. They see it as an opportunity for reflection, spiritual connection, and inner growth. They often prefer their own company to social gatherings that feel superficial or draining. But perhaps the most distinctive characteristic of old souls is their relationship with suffering. While young souls try to avoid or solve problems quickly, old souls understand that some difficulties are meant to be experienced fully, that certain kinds of pain lead to profound spiritual growth. If this description resonates deeply with you, if you're feeling that sense of recognition that comes from finally being understood, you might be an old soul who has been trying to force yourself into young soul expectations. But understanding your soul age isn't just about recognizing characteristics. It's about understanding how your soul age determines your life purpose, your relationships, and your path to fulfillment. If you're starting to recognize yourself as either a young soul or an old soul, I'd love to hear about it. Share in the comments which description feels more authentic to your true nature, and how this recognition is changing how you see your life choices. When you acknowledge your soul age, it helps our entire community understand the beautiful diversity of spiritual development we're all experiencing together. And if your reflection shows genuine self-awareness, I'll mark it with a heart to honor your courage in exploring these deep truths about yourself. The purpose behind your age. Now that you're beginning to understand whether you're a young soul or an old soul, everything changes about how you should approach your life's purpose and direction. Young souls and old souls aren't just different. They have completely different missions on Earth. Understanding your soul's mission is the key to finally feeling fulfilled instead of constantly swimming against the current of your own nature. If you're a young soul, your primary purpose is mastery. You're here to learn how to be effective in physical reality, how to achieve goals, how to create material success, how to leave a tangible mark on the world. Your soul needs to experience what it feels like to build something significant, to accomplish challenging objectives, to prove that consciousness can shape matter through focused intention and persistent effort. This means that your ambition isn't a character flaw. It's a spiritual necessity. Your desire to succeed, to compete, to achieve recognition isn't shallow. It's your soul fulfilling its curriculum. Young souls who try to suppress their drive for achievement because they think it's unspiritual are actually working against their soul's development. Your purpose might involve building a business, creating artistic works that reach large audiences, developing innovations that improve people's lives, or achieving excellence in competitive fields. The key is that your success should feel expansive and energizing, not empty or meaningless. Young souls are also here to learn about power, how to gain it, how to use it responsibly, how to avoid being corrupted by it. This means you might find yourself in leadership positions, dealing with authority, learning to influence others ethically. If you're an old soul, your primary purpose is service and wisdom sharing. You've already learned how to succeed in material reality in previous lifetimes. Now you're here to help others, to teach what you've learned, to serve as a bridge between the spiritual and physical worlds. Your purpose might involve healing others, teaching profound truths, creating art that touches souls rather than impressing minds, or simply being a source of wisdom and compassion for everyone whose life you touch. Old souls often struggle with purpose because they're looking for their mission in young soul terms. Big achievements, external recognition, measurable impact. But old soul purpose is usually quieter, deeper, more personal. You might be here to heal family patterns, to model conscious living, to anchor higher consciousness on Earth simply through your presence. The tragedy is when old souls try to fulfill young soul purposes, or young souls try to fulfill old soul purposes. An old soul forcing themselves to climb corporate ladders will feel spiritually starved. A young soul trying to be content with simple living will feel restless and unfulfilled. But understanding your soul age also reveals something crucial about your relationships and why certain people feel immediately familiar, while others seem to live in completely different worlds. The dance of recognition. Edgar Cayce discovered something fascinating about how souls of different ages interact with each other, and understanding this will revolutionize how you see every relationship in your life. Souls tend to incarnate in groups, traveling through lifetimes together, playing different roles in each other's spiritual education. But these soul groups usually consist of souls at similar developmental stages. This means that the people you feel most connected to, most understood by, are probably at a similar soul age to you. If you're a young soul, you'll naturally gravitate toward other young souls who share your enthusiasm for achievement, your competitive spirit, your optimism about material possibilities. These relationships feel energizing and inspiring because you're supporting each other's missions to master physical reality. If you're an old soul, you'll find yourself drawn to other old souls who understand your search for meaning, your need for depth, your spiritual homesickness. These relationships provide the understanding and wisdom sharing that old souls crave. But what happens when young souls and old souls find themselves in close relationships, as family members, romantic partners, or close friends? These relationships can be incredibly challenging because each soul is trying to live according to completely different values and priorities. The young soul parent might pressure their old soul child to be more ambitious and competitive. The old soul parent might not understand their young soul child's need for achievement and recognition. Young soul spouses might feel frustrated that their old soul partner isn't more driven or goal-oriented. Old soul spouses might feel exhausted by their young soul partner's constant activity and achievement focus. But here's what Cayce discovered that changes everything. These mixed soul-age relationships often represent the most important spiritual contracts. Young souls and old souls have profound gifts to offer each other if they can understand and respect their differences. Young souls can teach old souls about enthusiasm, optimism, and the joy of material accomplishment. They can help old souls who have become too detached from physical reality to re-engage with life's possibilities. Old souls can teach young souls about patience, wisdom, and the deeper meaning behind external achievements. They can help young souls understand that true fulfillment comes from internal development, not just external success. The key is recognizing these differences as spiritual diversity rather than personal failings. When you understand that your difficult family member or romantic partner might simply be at a different soul age than you, it becomes easier to have compassion for their different priorities and needs. You can love and support a soul at a different age than you without trying to change them into someone like you. You can appreciate what they have to teach you without abandoning your own authentic path. This understanding also explains why certain friendships feel effortless while others require constant work, why some family relationships feel supportive while others feel like constant misunderstandings, why some romantic partnerships flow naturally while others involve trying to force incompatible life visions to work together. The mirror of self-recognition. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of understanding soul age is how it serves as a mirror for self-recognition. When you finally understand whether you're a young soul or an old soul, suddenly your entire life history makes sense in a completely new way. If you're recognizing yourself as a young soul, you can finally stop judging yourself for caring about success, achievement, and material accomplishment. You can embrace your competitive nature as a spiritual gift rather than a personality flaw. You can pursue your ambitions with enthusiasm instead of apologizing for wanting to excel. You can also understand why certain spiritual teachings might not resonate with you yet. Old soul wisdom about detachment and letting go might feel premature for your current level of development. You might need to achieve more, experience more, accomplish more before you're ready for the deeper teachings about the illusory nature of material success. If you're recognizing yourself as an old soul, you can finally stop forcing yourself to care about things that genuinely don't matter to your spiritual development. You can embrace your need for meaning over money, for depth over superficiality, for spiritual growth over external achievement. You can also understand why you've felt like an outsider in so many social and professional situations. You're not antisocial or unmotivated. You're simply operating from a different set of values than the young soul majority around you. Perhaps most importantly, understanding your soul age helps you make decisions that align with your authentic nature, rather than fighting against it. If you're a young soul, you can choose careers that challenge you, relationships that inspire your growth, activities that allow you to excel and achieve. You can stop feeling guilty about wanting recognition and start seeing your achievements as spiritual accomplishments. If you're an old soul, you can choose paths that feed your soul, even if they don't impress others. You can prioritize meaningful work over high-paying work, deep relationships over large social networks, spiritual development over material accumulation. This doesn't mean young souls can't be spiritual or old souls can't be successful. It means that spirituality and success mean different things to souls at different stages of development. A young soul's spirituality might involve using metaphysical principles to achieve material goals. An old soul's spirituality might involve releasing attachment to material outcomes entirely. A young soul's success might involve building something impressive in the external world. An old soul's success might involve healing internal patterns or serving others in quiet ways. Both paths are valid. Both paths are necessary. Both paths serve the greater good of human spiritual evolution. The tragedy is when souls try to walk each other's paths instead of honoring their own authentic developmental stage. The gifts you came to give. Understanding your soul age isn't just about personal clarity. It's about recognizing the unique gifts you came to this lifetime to share with the world. If you're a young soul, your gifts likely involve your energy, your optimism, your ability to create change in material reality. You might be here to build businesses that employ others, to create innovations that solve practical problems, to lead movements that improve physical conditions for humanity. Your enthusiasm and drive inspire others who might have given up on their dreams. Your confidence helps people believe that challenges can be overcome. Your material success demonstrates that consciousness can indeed shape physical reality through focused intention. Young souls are often the entrepreneurs, the inventors, the leaders who move civilization forward in tangible ways. Without young soul energy, human society would stagnate. Progress requires the kind of ambitious optimism that young souls naturally embody. If you're an old soul, your gifts likely involve your wisdom, your compassion, your ability to see the bigger picture of human experience. You might be here to heal others, to teach spiritual truths, to model conscious living in a world that often seems unconscious. Your depth provides perspective to those caught up in surface concerns. Your wisdom offers guidance to souls struggling with life's deeper questions. Your compassion creates safe spaces for healing and growth. Old souls are often the healers, the teachers, the counselors who help humanity remember its spiritual nature. Without old soul wisdom, human society would lose its connection to meaning and purpose. Evolution requires the kind of patient understanding that old souls naturally embody. But here's what Edgar Cayce emphasized. Both young souls and old souls are absolutely necessary for human spiritual evolution. Neither is better than the other. They're simply at different stages of an eternal journey that all souls are taking. Young souls provide the drive and innovation that moves civilization forward. Old souls provide the wisdom and compassion that ensures that progress serves the good of all beings. The problems in our world often arise when there's an imbalance between young soul energy and old soul wisdom. Too much young soul energy without old soul wisdom leads to progress without purpose, achievement without meaning, success without fulfillment. Too much old soul wisdom without young soul energy leads to understanding without action, compassion without change, spiritual insight without practical application. The ideal is when young souls and old souls work together, each contributing their unique gifts to create a world that balances material progress with spiritual wisdom, external achievement with internal development, individual success with collective good. The integration that transforms everything. As we near the end of our exploration into Soul Age, I want to share with you the most profound discovery Edgar Cayce made about this entire topic. Understanding your soul age isn't meant to create separation or judgment between different types of souls. It's meant to create understanding, compassion, and appreciation for the beautiful diversity of spiritual development happening all around you. When you understand that the person who irritates you with their constant ambition might be a young soul learning crucial lessons about material mastery, you can respond with patience instead of judgment. When you understand that the person who seems disengaged from life's possibilities might be an old soul focused on internal development, you can appreciate their depth instead of criticizing their lack of drive. When you understand that your family member who makes completely different life choices isn't wrong, but simply at a different stage of soul development, you can love them without trying to change them. This understanding transforms not just how you see others, but how you see yourself. You can finally stop apologizing for being who you are and start celebrating the unique gifts your soul age brings to the world. If you're a young soul, you can embrace your ambition, your competitiveness, your drive for success as beautiful expressions of your soul's current curriculum. You can pursue your goals with enthusiasm while remaining open to the deeper wisdom you'll naturally develop as you mature spiritually across lifetimes. If you're an old soul, you can embrace your need for meaning, your wisdom, your spiritual focus as precious gifts that the world desperately needs. You can share your depth and understanding while remaining compassionate toward those who are still learning lessons you've already mastered. But perhaps, most importantly, understanding your soul age helps you make peace with your own developmental timeline. You don't have to be wise beyond your years if you're a young soul. You don't have to pretend to care about achievements that feel empty if you're an old soul. You can finally live according to your authentic nature instead of forcing yourself into expectations that don't fit your soul's actual age and stage of development. This is liberation. This is coming home to yourself. This is the beginning of a life lived in alignment with who you truly are at the deepest level. If this exploration has given you new understanding about yourself, I want to hear about it. Share in the comments how recognizing your soul age is changing your perspective on your life, your relationships, and your purpose. Your insights help everyone in our community understand the beautiful spectrum of spiritual development we're all part of. And if this journey of self-discovery is opening new levels of self-acceptance and authenticity for you, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our continued exploration of these profound spiritual truths. Share this video with someone who might need to understand their own soul age. Your sharing might provide exactly the recognition they need to finally make peace with who they truly are. The truth that sets you free. As we conclude this deep dive into soul age, I want to leave you with the most transformative truth Edgar Cayce revealed about this entire topic. Your soul age isn't just a spiritual curiosity or an interesting way to categorize yourself. It's the key to understanding your deepest purpose, your most authentic path, and your greatest potential for both personal fulfillment and service to others. Whether you're a young soul burning with ambition to master material reality, or an old soul yearning to share wisdom and serve others' spiritual growth, you are exactly who the world needs you to be. Your age, your stage of development, your unique perspective. All of this is part of a divine plan so vast and beautiful that your human mind can barely glimpse its true scope. You are not behind schedule. You are not ahead of schedule. You are perfectly on time for your soul's journey through eternity. If you're a young soul, stop apologizing for wanting success, achievement, and recognition. These desires aren't shallow. They're sacred. They're your soul's way of learning mastery over physical reality. Pursue your goals with passion while remaining open to the deeper wisdom that will naturally develop as you mature spiritually. If you're an old soul, stop forcing yourself to care about things that genuinely don't serve your spiritual development. Your disinterest in conventional success isn't laziness, it's wisdom. Your focus on meaning and service isn't impractical. It's exactly what humanity needs from souls at your level of development. The world needs ambitious young souls to create progress, innovation, and positive change in material reality. The world needs wise old souls to provide perspective, healing, and spiritual guidance. Both are essential. Both are valuable. Both are serving the greater good of human evolution. Your job isn't to be a different type of soul than you are. Your job is to be the most authentic, fully expressed version of the soul you actually are. When you align with your true soul age, everything becomes easier. Your career choices become obvious. Your relationship patterns make sense. Your life purpose becomes clear. You stop fighting against your own nature and start flowing with it. You also become a gift to everyone around you. Young souls living authentically inspire others with their enthusiasm and achievement. Old souls living authentically provide the wisdom and depth that helps everyone remember what truly matters. This is your invitation to stop living according to expectations that don't fit your soul's developmental stage and start living according to the truth of who you really are. This is your permission to embrace your authentic nature, whether that's the fire of youthful ambition or the depth of ancient wisdom. This is your reminder that you are exactly the right age, spiritually speaking, and your unique perspective is both necessary and beautiful. The question isn't whether you're young or old. The question is, now that you know who you are, how will you live differently? Now that you understand your soul's true age, how will you honor its authentic needs and gifts? Now that you see yourself clearly, what will you create with this precious human lifetime you've been given? Your soul knows who it is. Your soul knows what it came here to do. Your soul knows exactly what stage of development it's in and what lessons it needs to learn. Trust that knowing, honor that wisdom. Live that truth. The world is waiting for the gifts that only a soul of your particular age and wisdom can provide. Are you ready to give them? Are you ready to finally come home to yourself? The journey to authenticity begins with recognition, and recognition begins with having the courage to see yourself as you truly are, not as others expect you to be, but as your eternal soul knows itself to be. That recognition changes everything. And everything that changes serves the good of all. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome to the beginning of a life lived in perfect alignment with your soul's true age and authentic purpose. The adventure of authentic living starts now.